to sort in here today. One of the first things is my sidewinder rattlesnake. His bulb was blown overnight, so we need to get that changed, especially because it's winter and it's very cold in this room without the bulb. He's sitting, I doubt whether you'll be able to see him, but he's sitting right underneath that piece of cork, looking out at me. He's generally quite a good snake on the hook, but we'll find that he probably won't behave whilst I'm recording. What you'll see, I've got two hooks. One's a small collapsible. Not a massive fan of these because they're very flexible and very fragile, but come in useful for a little guy like this one. And then the other one, the red one, is one of the MP hooks. These are brilliant. These are the best hooks around, I think. I know there's a few other manufacturers around, but I love this one. So what we're going to do, bulb needs changing, so I'll pull him out, pop him into a tub. I've got a tub sat on the Viv behind me. Usually I would work with the tub on the floor in front of me. However, with this being such a small snake, it's a lot easier to just move him into a tub behind me, somewhere a little bit out of the way. Once he's out, then we'll change the bulb, do a little bit of general cleaning, tidying and pottering around, and then pop him back in. Any extra maintenance whilst he's out is just easier to do, and it saves disturbing him unnecessarily, shall we say. So, right, here we go. You'll notice the first thing I do is open the door with flat hand, no contact, no hooking around it. Come here, little fella. Now, sidewinders are only small. They can be quite quick. Come here. I told you it'd be awkward, didn't I, today? Come on. On we get. Got your sensor probe as well. Come on. Oh, you awkward little bugger. Now, this is the issue with a lot of our enclosures. Sometimes we slightly over decorate them to make the animals more comfortable. Here he comes. There he is. Nicely on the hook there. Nice and secure. And we'll pop him into the tub behind me. And lock him away. So the first thing we need to do is get his bulb out. These things always come out easier than they go back in. These vivariums use a GU10 halogen system, which is wonderful, but it's a bugger to line back up. That's probably the quickest I've ever done that. So now, whilst we're in here, I'll do a couple of little bits of maintenance. I do tend to use scoops and forceps for things, just because obviously the last thing we want to do is stab ourselves on any discarded fangs. So, this little fella is on Pro Reps Beardy Life. Love this as a substrate, it's great for all sorts of things. Guess who forgot to bring a bin bag in with him? Oh, well, let's just get these bits out. One thing with venomous, they are very low maintenance. That's his favourite spot right near the front there. He likes to curl up in that area, so if I cover it over, it'll give him something to do with digging it out again. Normally I would collect any shed fangs whilst I'm in the enclosures. However, this little fella is so small that his fangs, to my eyes, are not noticeable. But then I am getting on for blind. I always like to clear the runners out as much as possible. We want those doors closing nice and securely. There we go. So that's done. Water bowl needs just a little bit of a top up. Did change that the other day. So we'll fill that right up. And that's ready for him to go back in. Now before he goes back in, what I'll do firstly is move the glass over. By closing it over and putting him in through a smaller space, there's less chance of him escaping again once he's gone back in. And then now it's a question of getting him back into there. Right, come on then, little buzzworm. See, he went on the hook nice and easily there. Back in underneath his heat bulb. Close that. Oh. Pardon the French. You were guaranteed for that to happen, weren't you? What we'll do, just for safety, we'll bring him back out again. Whilst I do that. In you go, happy chappy. That shows the things that can go wrong as well. So it's always useful to be prepared for that sort of eventuality. Let's try not to do that again. There we go. And yes, I know the lock could be a better fitting and more secure one, but it works. There you go. So there he is, Sidewinder rattlesnake, bulb changed, water topped up, general little bit of maintenance, and he's back into his enclosure. The other thing which all of our enclosures have are these stickers, which are stuck on using Velcro and fully removable, with common name, scientific name, origin, venom type, recommended anti-venom, that kind of thing. So there it goes. So we now have the same procedure, same issue for our Southern Pacific rattlesnake in the vivarium beneath the Sidewinder. She's sitting underneath this piece of cork in the middle. You might just be able to see a loop of her behind there. So what we'll do with her, she's a little bit larger, so we use a slightly larger hook. I will use the same little red one as well, but this is also another MP hook. This one was specifically made for me. It's 24 inches long, and it's probably my favourite hook out of what I've got. So again, we'll open up. As you'll notice, the tub for this one to go into is on the floor, but here she is underneath here. Come here, girl. Now she's a corker. You can see her sitting there nicely on the hook, and having a nice buzz for you. So we pop her down into the tub, slide that lid over, bit of security on the tub with the hook holding the lid on, and then we'll go in and change her heat bulb. Firstly, we'll move her out of the way. Need another one of those bulbs. As I say, GU10s, cracking bulbs, but see, this one doesn't even want to come out. Okay. No major mess in this one because I did sort her out the other day. Again, water bowl just needs a bit of a top up, so we'll quickly do that. Thankfully, the bulbs have changed quite easily for me. Sometimes I have to go and get the drill to take the fittings down and everything, but today they've behaved. So there she is again. Nice and secure. What she will do when I put her back in, because I know this snake very well, she will go into the full-on display mode. So what we do, because again of I hate doing this on these smaller tubs. So what we do, use the hook to lift and remove the lid. That way fingers and everything are out the way. Switch her over. As you can see, nicely rattling for you there, guys. And a nice little strike as well. Go and go. Back in you go then. And we pop her back into her enclosure. Again, the door's wide open, but when I close it, I always close it. I always try and use the left-hand side or the front door of the enclosure, because that way I can push it closed, I can secure it closed, and then when I get the keys on, I always double check that that's locked. Pop them away, and she will nice and happily now sit, giving a nice show for you. So what I will try and do, slow that down, and you can see the tail. And she's a stunning little snake. She does like to show off though. Finished? Are you done? She won't be when I move. Okay, so the final one we need to do today then is my Indian or spectacled cobra. He goes by various nicknames, most of them unrepeatable, but he is affectionately known as TV, because that's what he is. Now normally he's a pain in the butt to get out, so we'll see what he's like today. Again, it's another bulb gone. I don't know whether we've had a power spike or what overnight, but yeah, so this is another bulb change. There is also some skin in there, so that will be something else I'll do. There. So I have two hooks here. One is similar to the 24-inch hook I spoke about with the Southern Pacific, just a little bit longer because I've got to get in a bit more reach. And then the other one is a specialist type hook. So this is a double hook. Now these were made by Mark MP for specific orders in Europe. When he first showed me the design, I didn't like it. I just saw it being a problem and things going through it. So far, I've not had that issue. It may well happen while we're on video, but we'll see. So again, plenty of room to work with. Sometimes with this guy, I end up going in both doors because he can be a pain. But today, are we going to be good? Fully flattening himself out here. Come on, dude. There we go. Full on display. Into the box then. No, I said into the box, not into the Viv. That was remarkably calm from him, but that also shows how cold it is in this enclosure because that bulb being off. Just move him out the way for a minute so I've got a little bit more space to get in to change his bulb. There we go. Job done. Once again, a few little bits of waste. Now, cobras are very messy snakes, so this one's spot cleaned very regularly. A water bowl could do with a change, but I'll do that another day. His water bowl, sorry, it's a male. He's got plenty of clean water in there, he's just dropped a few bits of bark and stuff in. So, there we go. So again, door partially closed. Tuck back up. Now what I'm going to do with this one, to give me a little bit more room to work, is actually remove his lid completely. Pop it down here behind me. And come here, dude. What I notice and what I find with these, you see the double hook gives a lot more support. What we do there, they seem to be a lot happier on the double hook than on singles. I find with particularly my rattlesnakes that they do seem to prefer that double hook. So there we go. Right. Let me show you this. This is where my equipment resides, the bulk of it. So as a venomous keeper, you'll find that you'll end up with loads of bits of equipment. This was an idea I stole from somebody online, I can't remember who, and apologies to whoever it was. It's a broom and mop holder. Bought it from Amazon and it's brilliant for holding the hooks. You can see they just slot in there nicely. Also on the front then you've got some little hooks for accessories. So in there, or rather on there, I've got my double hook, I've got my dustpan and brush, I've got my tweezers, and then I've got a face visor for whenever we have spitting cobras. I've also got a crocodile grip or crocodile noose that was made by a friend of mine, and there's a jigger at the bottom as well. We've then come over to here where we've got bite-proof gloves. Not a fan, lose so much dexterity from them. I almost never use them. We've then got my feeding tongs. So we've got 18-inch long feeding tongs. That gives me plenty of reach to be out the way. And then there's more hooks. You can see there's, what is there? 1, 2, 3, and 3 hooks in the holder. There are 5 more there, and then there's some more there with some restraining tubes as well. So those tubes were imported from the States many years ago from Midwest. And yeah, hooks, I just acquire them. Most of these that we've got are made by MP. There's a few other ones, but the majority that I use are MP hooks. What I find is you'll need multiple hooks. As much as you may only use 2 at a time, there will be times where you'll need to use a third one. You might get into trouble with something and have to drop one and replace it with another. All of these hooks are within easy reach in the room, so I can get anything that I need as and when I need it. He's still sitting in there, not happy with me, but tough. He needed his bulb changed, and there we go, there's his label as well, just to show you. If ever you come into the shop, anything which has got labels on, or any tank which has got a label on has got something in it. If it hasn't got a label on, there's nothing in there. So there we go.